welcome to the nerve. The F1 YouTube sphere confuses me. And here's why. Last week, when the bombshell dropped that Lewis Hamilton was going to Ferrari, isn't that insane, first of all, that the main story right now is not Lewis going to Ferrari? That was going to be the main talking point of the episode, but then Christian Horner said, hold my cock. In fact, that might be exactly what he said. Right, let's calm down. We're going to calm down. I'm going to go through this chronologically. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I am calm. Last week, on a Thursday, which was the 1st of February, an Italian newspaper by the name of Corriere della Sera prints an article with the headline Operazione Hamilton, in which they claimed that Lewis Hamilton was leaving Mercedes and going to Ferrari, and that the deal was basically done, and it was only a matter of time before we all received official confirmation. That article set off a chain of events, the first of which was every single F1 YouTuber made a video about Hamilton going to Ferrari and their reaction to it. This was at 11 o'clock in the morning. We didn't receive official confirmation until 7 p.m., but that didn't stop everybody getting their reactions out. And this is my gripe with the system, with the machine of the F1 YouTube sphere. And my gripe is this. Last week, before there was any confirmation, before the mainstream media had even picked it up, everybody had their video out on the Hamilton-Ferrari situation, okay? However, yesterday and today, when there's another news story, which is slightly more uncomfortable and perhaps a little bit more difficult to talk about, nobody mentions a fucking thing. You know what they are talking about? You know what every single F1 YouTuber is talking about right now? They're talking about their reaction to the Williams livery launch. Imagine the fucking news story that's going around right now, and you're going to talk about Williams livery reaction. Oh, I like the blue. I like the two-tone blue they did on the side pod and the little white stripe they did on the nose cone. Christian Horner is running around the Red Bull factory, grabbing women by the back of the head and throwing them out of the window. And you want to talk about a livery reaction? Honestly. So I am slightly confused. Why did it take you 45 seconds after the rumour started to make your Hamilton-Ferrari video, but then Christian Horner has created an Eyes Wide Shut style sex orgy in Milton Keynes and nobody wants to mention it? I mean, it's very confusing to me. It's very confusing. This is kind of serious, okay? Can we be serious? He may have been walking around the factory in a robe, slightly ajar, so that everybody could have a good look at the Horndog. He may have walked over to the receptionist and put one foot up on the desk and said to the receptionist, "Can you get Mike Oxlong on the phone for me, please? I have an urgent message for Mike Oxlong." And then he just lingered a bit too long. Right, I don't know what he did. Nobody knows what he did. Details of inappropriate behaviour made against Red Bull Racing boss Christian Horner have emerged. On Monday, it was revealed that Red Bull had launched an investigation, blah, blah, blah. Details of the precise allegations have so far been vague. However, they claim that it concerns the 50-year-old's strict and controlling work regime. Like I said, a level of fear. It is said that Horner had concerns about a female employee's conduct and made it clear he was unhappy before she went to make a complaint about his controlling behaviour. Right, so it's a female employee. That doesn't, I mean, it would be better if it was a male employee, you know, because the dynamic is, it's more aggressive that he's like the 50-year-old big dick male boss and it's a female subordinate employee. It shouldn't matter because, you know, women equal rights and hashtag women get treated equally in the workplace. But on paper, it looks worse that he's the boss, the male boss, and it's a female employee, right? It looks worse than if it was a male employee. In fact, do you know what Formula One needs right now? Forget female drivers. We need a female team principal. And I'm not talking about Claire Williams from a couple of years ago. I mean a bitch like Hillary Clinton, a woman who has 1,000 corpses underneath the floorboards, an international criminal, pedophile probably. Like Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell is still alive, probably. I haven't checked, but I don't think they've goosed her yet like they did to her husband. Get Ghislaine Maxwell in charge of Red Bull right now. Because what I'm saying is, if it's a woman abusing a male subordinate, nobody gives a fuck, and it's kind of hot. Is that controversial? I don't mean to make light of sexual assault, but like most of my fantasies involve getting sexually assaulted by really powerful women, like Ghislaine Maxwell. Let's get back to the story, for God's sake. Right, the story. This is the main thing I wanted to do today, which is inform you, okay? Because this story is so vague and there are no details, but there's all sorts of rumours flying about. Here's what we know so far for sure. According to Autosport and The Race, which are reliable sources of information, there is an investigation against Christian Horner. The trial is taking place tomorrow, and it's very serious. Now, as far as the reasonable rumours, according to a Dutch newspaper, and by the way, the same newspaper that claimed that Sergio Perez crashed on purpose in qualifying at the Monaco Grand Prix, yeah, that newspaper, which, to be fair, actually, is the newspaper that broke this Christian Horner under investigation story in the first place, which is obviously now turned out to be true. So maybe Perez did crash on purpose, and the birds are CIA agents, and the moon is a hollowed-out planetoid used to control human minds by the lizard people. The same newspaper have also been making multiple claims, one of which is that the investigators who are investigating Christian Horner have a dossier of evidence. And if that is the case, Christian Horner is in the shit. Even if it's not a dick pic, even if we don't get photographic evidence of the Horndog, it still seems like he's in a lot of trouble. They wouldn't have taken it this far if it wasn't serious. Something happened. Maybe people found photocopies of Christian Horner's cock in the office printer. We don't know. We're going to have to wait until tomorrow or whenever this is going to come out. I mean, Friday, isn't Friday the day that they hold the trial if they're planning on firing somebody anyway? I don't know. We'll see what happens. What is bothering me is obviously Team LH are absolutely loving this. Oh, they were barely 3 days into their Lewis Hamilton to Ferrari identity crisis before they switched on the full believe the accuser. Okay, listen, I don't know. It's very difficult to complain about it because if it does come out that Christian Horner was goosing the broads, I'm going to look really bad. But I think it's fucking terrible that people spread rumours that he's sending dick pics and that he's sexually harassing women when there is literally zero evidence at this point. Like, for example, I will read out some of the tweets that went most viral on Twitter, one of which had 149,000 views and 2,000 likes, said Red Bull Racing should make Christian Horner step down, at least for now. The things coming out are truly shocking. Nothing has come out. Literally nothing. The things that are coming out are truly shocking. Feel terrible for the victim, but also his wife and kids. To protect their employees, Red Bull should take action as well. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you've got people that said, so you're telling me that the media outlets and many, many people created a sexual crime out of nowhere. I'm sorry, but that's called defamation and it's illegal, in capitals. Every single author and source of that defamation needs to get sued and fired, whatever the jobs are. Okay. It's a mess. Right now, it's a fucking mess, but we are hours away from the trial. So that's all I'm going to say about it. It is my professional journalistic opinion that this is very serious, okay? I don't think there is a sexual element because of the lack of evidence and the actual reports from reliable sources that say it's about his controlling and aggressive management style. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I may have to do an emergency broadcast if he gets fired and what that means for the team. Because like I said, Adrian Newey, there were some reports that he's going to go if Christian Horner goes. Jos Verstappen and Helmut Marko apparently trying to squeeze him out. We'll see what happens. I am not going to speculate any more than I already have. Maybe he did leave photocopies of the Horndog in the office printer. We'll wait and see.